Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Genes are passed down from parents to... Okay, I gotta stop.
I'm Jimmy Fritz. I need all you dozens of viewers out there to just tell me how you like this, alright? Welcome to the show.
What's up, fellow dweebs? Friends, we live in a strange time, am I right? We see a lot of goofy things on the internet, things like mukbangs, Dhar Mann videos, and JoJo Siwa singing Betty Davis eyes. But recently it seems like people are the most up in arms over good old-fashioned advertisements, aka commercials. We used to call them commercials in like the 90s. I've always been a big fan of commercials. They've given us a lot of comedic gold over the years. I once made my own tampon commercial when I was 12 years old.
I went to visit my sister to college. I needed a pad, and she's all like, take this!
I pitched that one to Playtex and Kotex, but they didn't want to use it. But these days, ads are quite different than they used to be, it would seem, and it seems that brands have caught on to the fact that if they can be super controversial and offend as many people as possible and get as many people talking about them as possible, that generates the most sales. So I thought we could talk about this today and have a laugh. Because I don't know if you know this, but making fun of ads is one of my favorite pastimes, and I'm not even just talking about my tampon commercial. I have an entire video where I talked about medication ads, and it's not one of my higher viewed videos, but it's one of my personal favorites. You should watch it. Because ads are weird, and it's weird what people are willing to do to drive sales. Case in point, everybody right now is talking both about the Matt Rife ad with E.L.F. Cosmetics and the Sweeney ad with American Eagle Jeans. And of course, there are many, many more ads that have, pissed off the internet, especially in the last couple years. But we're gonna focus on these two because it's gonna be the most fun for me. I've been waiting to make fun of Sweeney's voice for a long time, even though she's a talented actress. I've been waiting for my moment, and the second I heard her say, genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
I was like, now's my chance. All right, Drama Fest number 1, with Matt Rife being the star/face of a new advertisement from E.L.F. Cosmetics, which, if you don't know, if you are under a rock, E.L.F. Cosmetics is an extremely popular and extremely affordable makeup brand. I literally, this black eyeliner that you always see on my eyes, I wear every day, is E.L.F. Cosmetics. I've been using their face sponge for like 38 years, which is insane because I'm only 36. They're extremely popular in the beauty industry, and as far as I know, have never really been like canceled before. I should probably do research on that because I don't know. But this is the first time I've ever heard them personally in the press in a negative way. And it is because they cast Matt Rife as the star of one of their commercials.
Hey girl, has overpriced beauty hurt your wallet?
E.L.F. that!
Now, I want to preface everything by saying that I am not personally offended by either of these ads. Full confession, it's actually very hard to offend me. Sometimes even when I say something is offensive, I'm actually saying it like, this is probably, like I'm assuming it's offending someone else. You know what I mean? But me personally, even if I wanted to, I just can't feel anything when someone does something on the internet. I'm dead inside most of the time. That being said, many people took issue with Matt Rife as the face of this ad because of his previous jokes and his stand-up bits about domestic violence.
The hostess who seats you at the restaurant had a black eye. And I was like, yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye.
So the general consensus that the internet is asking is, why did you hire this guy? Out of all the guys and gals in the world, why would you hire Matt Rife for your beauty ad? Given the fact that he jokes about violence against women and women are the primary consumers of E.L.F. Cosmetics. And I'm here to answer that question for you. The reason that they cast Matt Rife in this ad is because they wanted people to be offended. And by being offended and talking about it and ranting about it on the internet, you are doing exactly what this brand wanted. Have you ever heard that phrase, all publicity is good publicity? The goal here is to get people talking about your brand, create buzz, and therefore generate more sales, which is why you will notice that when the internet freaked out and people decided to cancel E.L.F. Cosmetics and boycott them, they still have not taken down the ad with Matt Rife despite their apology. Now, while I might not be personally offended by the fact that they cast Matt Rife in this commercial, if anything, I'm offended at the fact that I was not given an audition for this. As somebody who has been a longtime customer of E.L.F. Cosmetics and clearly has impeccable commercial making skills. I'm just saying I would have appreciated an audition. And while clearly my commercial shooting skills are impeccable, one area where I lack skill is taking and editing selfies, which is why I love today's sponsor.
And now a word from our sponsors.
So here's the thing, friends. I used to fully believe that the camera hated me. Like, I felt like I couldn't take photos like a normal person. Sometimes it's still a struggle. Like, it'll be broad daylight, just me, natural light. I think I look cute in real life, and then the photo comes out, and I'm like, I am not that ugly, I don't think. Some of us are just selfie challenged, you know, and that is where this app comes in. Okay, hold on. I have to take a selfie so I can show you. Okay, now this is a rare occasion where it didn't turn out terrible to begin with, but we can still enhance it a little bit and make it extra cute. One thing I hate is that no matter how tan I am in real life, I always look kind of pale in photos. So I could give myself a little bit of a glow here. There's different levels. You can be like crazy tan, like tan mom, or just subtle, just a little sun kiss, you know what I mean? And my favorite part about this app is that the edits are subtle. Like, no one's gonna look at this photo and be like, oh, okay, you transformed yourself into a Pixar character. I wanna use this little skin smoothing tool, just like in this area where I always have like big pores and I look super shiny. But again, what I like is that like in person, you don't really notice it. It's just the camera brings it out so harshly, so I almost feel like I'm like editing it back to how it should look. Does that make sense? I love using the little smooth tool. It's just a very subtle difference, but it makes me look like I got 8 hours of sleep, which has never happened in my entire adult life. So if you want to fix your selfies without completely reinventing your DNA and you still want to look like yourself, you can click the link in my description box or scan this QR code here. And I, of course, recommend trying out the pro version. You can try it out for free. That's going to unlock the most features so that you can enhance your own features. See what I did there? So thank you so much to FaceApp for sponsoring a portion of today's video and for making me look like I am a functioning human being. And now back to the show. Hey kids, we're back. So if I look at the comments on the Matt Rife ad that is still currently up on e.l.f. Cosmetics' Instagram page, the top comment says, "You didn't have the budget for a comedian who doesn't joke about abuse. I thought you guys were cruelty free. I think Andrew Tate's available for the next ad." There are 4 million women on this planet and you chose a straight white male who jokes about abusing women and doesn't wear makeup for this ad campaign. Now the part where he doesn't wear makeup that we know of, maybe he does. Maybe that's the secret to his glowing skin. For some reason, I keep thinking of like the Eva Longoria shampoo commercials. It would be like instead of casting her, they cast like a bald person. The part where he doesn't wear makeup is kind of the kicker here. That's how you know that this was 100% deliberate, because they could have avoided controversy not only by not casting a Matt Rife, but if they wanted to cast a dude, it would have made it infinitely more sense to cast a dude who wears makeup. But again, friends, this is because they know what they are doing. Anytime a brand does something controversial, please know that there were probably 50 plus people at that pitch meeting on the marketing team, and somebody in their midst said, hey, this is going to offend a ton of people, and they got outvoted and went through with the campaign anyway. You know, one thing I am offended by is that this ad actually isn't that funny. Like, I bet you if it was really hilarious, you know, there's some people that probably would have like overlooked it and been like, well, I laughed. I can't go back on my laugh like Will Smith did. But comedically, it's just okay.
Hey girl, has overpriced beauty hurt your wallet?
E.L.F. that.
Elfino and Schmarns have gone to e.l.f. court from millions of clients.
Just ask the elfin people.
I know a thing or two about red flags. And pricey makeup, you deserve better than that.
Here's a number you can remember. $9.
Elfino and Schmarns, affordable beauty attorneys. We'll win the elfing case for your eyes, lips, and face. Call 1-855-653-4273 73227
37274. That was pretty funny. But the rest of it wasn't. And again, I don't mean to like, you know, beat a dead horse, but the fact that this ad has not been removed from e.l.f. Cosmetics' YouTube account is very telling, okay? It means that this was on purpose. And I just want you guys to remember that. Bold strategy caught, and let's see if it pays off for them. There are several creators who have made videos about this. So if you want, you know, like a more eloquent and well-spoken person to give you their opinion about this, definitely go watch them. As usual, you're in the wrong place. This might be as good of a time as any to tell you guys that I'm very clean and family friendly and classy on the internet, and I always will be, but in real life, I'm kind of a, how do you say it? Kind of a dirtball. Like, picture the most offensive stand-up that you've ever heard in the darkest humor possible, and that's kind of like what goes on in my head 24/7. So while I might not be personally offended by something, like I keep saying, I understand why other people are offended, and I'm really just wanting you guys to save your energy and don't allow this to spike your blood pressure, because this is just a marketing tactic. It is no different with the Sydney Sweeney scandal that everybody's currently talking about. She recently did an ad with American Eagle, and in the ad she talks about having good genes, and of course it's a play on words because it's like good genes, but also she has good genes.
My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Do you get it? Genes versus genes. It's a pun. It's a pun that could only have been brainstormed at 2 a.m. in a conference room with stale Panera bagels. And when this was posted, people on the internet were highly offended, and they felt like this was, I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube. They felt that it was not Z propaganda.
I will be the friend that's too woke, because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird. Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking.
But like, they're literally talking about her blonde hair, blue-eyed jeans.
People felt that she was basically humble bragging that she was genetically superior because she was blonde hair and blue-eyed. And this ad sparked so much outrage. I would go so far to say it sparked more outrage than the Matt Rife one. A lot of YouTube videos, a lot of tweets, a lot of think pieces. If nobody in the world had gotten upset about this, I literally wouldn't have thought anything of it. I would have thought the pun, of course, was about her having good genes because she's like incredibly beautiful and is famous for having big burbs.
Hey, eyes up here.
However, I am not a marketing professional, and you best believe that the people on the marketing team over at American Eagle knew what they were doing, knew it would tick people off, and did this 1000% deliberately, which was proved, of course, by their apology. No, they didn't apologize. They made a statement. They responded. I can't remember what it said. And I would really love to be able to find some sort of statistic. Where can I look up how much this increased their sales? Because it divides people, right? If you get half the internet pissed off about something, then the other half is going to rise to the occasion and go buy their jeans just to tick people off even further. Now, once again, personally, I was not personally offended by this. Of course, I feel weird saying that, being a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person, but I just my brain just didn't even go there. But what I was offended by was the way she spoke in this ad.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. That's pretty good, dude. But I want to watch the one where she says, jeans are passed down. Oh, here it is. I found it.
Jeans are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Oh, hold on. That one does not sound as bad as the ones I saw on TikTok.
And even eye color.
Even eye color does not sound the same as it did. Am I crazy? No, I'm not. I got an ear for voices. Something changed. Okay, here's the one we just listened to.
And even eye color.
And then I found this one on TikTok that sounds how I remember it.
And even eye color.
One more time, back to back.
And even eye color. And even eye color.
Why did they change it? It makes me think she was embarrassed of the vocal fry where she was like, eye color. And so they had her re-record it and say, eye color. and both versions got leaked. Personality. Offspring. I've said this before, I think in the Anyone But You movie review. I feel like she's such a talented actress, and her talent is overshadowed by talking like that. And the past on. Okay, I gotta stop. I can't stop though. I can't. This is why I didn't do just a dedicated video to this drama, because I wouldn't be able to stop talking like Sydney Sweeney. So friends, here's the deal. The reason that brands do this, I've said it a couple times, obviously, is to not only drive sales, but outrage is cheap advertising. It's free advertising, really. Brands don't have to pay influencers to talk about them. They don't gotta buy a billboard. They essentially don't have to do anything once the initial ad is released, so long as people will get online and argue about them for free. So it's important to remember that if you do get online and rant about this, you are not canceling the brand, you're promoting them. Every angry retweet, every snarky TikTok, every we need to talk about YouTube video, that is all unpaid marketing for the brand, and there's actually a word for it. It's called outrage economy, where attention is the most valuable currency, and outrage guarantees attention, and controversy always spreads faster than compliments. These brands do not care if you're mad, they care that you're talking. And when I say you, I don't mean like you, because I feel like most of my viewers are not super offended by things like this, but you get it. And I get it. You know, being offended can make some people feel good, like they're part of something, that they're making some sort of change. It's like CrossFit, you know, but for your moral compass. But I personally would advise you, even though you did not ask for my opinion, to save your offense for real problems, such as the fact that I wasn't cast in this commercial, and also the fact that Sydney Sweeney talks weird.
Personality.
There's something in psychology I remember learning about when I was in college, the brief time I spent in college, and my teacher's name was Miss Stoner. That was her real name. She was a cool lady, and I remember learning about something called negativity bias, where our brains pay more attention to negative things than positive things, and it has been extremely true, like in my own career. Like if I post something positive, like my Joey Bro video or my Moodang video, dad music, anything that I like, it's never gonna get anywhere near the amount of views that I will get from roasting something. So for example, you are more likely to remember that e.l.f. Cosmetics cast Matt Rife than you're gonna remember the fact that Dove released another lotion. You know what I mean? Basically, our brains are wired to be like that one aunt who only calls you when someone dies. Bad news sticks, outrage sticks, and brands know this. And it makes sense, right? Like you're not gonna, if I tweet, hey guys, I had a really good sandwich today, that's not gonna get any retweets. Whereas if someone tweets, hey, did you see Matt Rife was cast in the e.l.f. Cosmetics commercial? Can you believe how terrible that is? It's gonna spread like wildfire. Another interesting thing about outrage such as this is that it actually builds community, which is another reason that it works so well. And psychologists actually call it, there's a term, it's called moral outrage bonding, which basically means that people getting mad together makes them feel closer. So that's kind of why you see things like people bonding over hating the same sports team, you guys bonding with me over hating certain movies, my husband and I bonding together over our hate of Subway. Like, what's their food even made out of? It's basically a yoga mat with mayonnaise on it. You get it. Nothing creates community like collectively dragging a celebrity that you will never meet. And to touch again really quick on the fact that the outrage about these campaigns is free marketing for these brands, again, there is also a word for that, and it is called earned media, which, like I said earlier, the company does not have to pay for ad space if we are all marketing it for them. So to sum this all up, friends, I will never tell you to not be offended by something, and I'll never tell you how to feel, but just remember that when you tweet about things like this or make YouTube videos about it, you're basically volunteering to work for e.l.f. Cosmetics' marketing department. So congratulations, I guess we all work for e.l.f. now. Well kids, that's it for me today. I think I mentioned this in my last video, but I am moving to Nashville in 2 days, and I have a whole video coming shortly explaining the whole thing, so look out for that. Keep your wits about you, don't fall for marketing tactics, and always remember the moral of today's story, which is that a penny saved is a penny earned. Dang it, I couldn't do it without smiling. The moral of today's story is that if you want to be offended by something, be offended by it the way Sydney Sweeney says the word personality.
Personality.
Also, leave me your opinions in the comment section down below. I'm very curious to know whether or not these ads ticked you guys off or if you couldn't care less. All right, I love you all. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Testing. Genes are passed down from parents to offspring. Genes like hair color, skin color, even eye color. Yep, it's working. Maybe I could try my luck with Chevy. I made a Chevy commercial too. Maybe they'd want to use that.
Tell me why I made a commercial for Chevy. In 2001.
Like a rock. Whoa.